Wow, we just had a wonderful visit, intervention from the
Ashe.
spirit,
Ashe.
Ashe.
and planting seeds and in our spirit and our soul. We have been well planted today.
Hallelujah.
And I want to share an experience that now really Pam and I experienced from a master planter. I'm going to share my screen. Let me get it, make sure it's ready yet. We went to Mama Raziya's Thursday, and you weren't able to be there, but I do want you to experience what we experienced. And Raziya, you want to talk about where you are right now?
Well, I'm on the side of the porch in my backyard, and I've just been so thankful, so grateful, and just marveling at God's grace, because all of these plants were they were all volunteers from the creative force, and these are mullein plants. Many of you know that we had a major flooding of our basement and created mold and so forth. And my eyes were stinging. I was getting chest congestion and just feeling real concerned for myself. And meanwhile, God was making sure that I had everything I needed. Mullein is a major, major source of comfort and healing for respiratory issues. And how all these mullein plants were planted at the time of need. We just have to be grateful for the connectedness of ourselves with the universe, with God's grace. So the mullein plants are we can be using them in their fresh form right now. Those leaves are just, you cut off a couple of leaves, put them in your boiling water, and you have your tea. I'm feeling a lot better now that I'm drinking the mullein tea every day, every other day. Those are my little starter plants that we got from Keep Growing Detroit. And bok choy is ready to eat this Thursday. So we just have to know that all that we need is there for us. I didn't know they were taking these pictures, sisters. This is my husband, Charles, getting ready to make the vegan corn muffin that he's become very, very well known for in our circle. I gave him my recipe when we got married and started working together. And now people just go right by me and say, would you have Charles make some muffins for me? I love it. But he's great at it. He's an artist, so he's very creative in his approach to all of life. And he takes all the recipes that we've collected during these 30 years have been taken up a notch. There I'm looking at the sage plant. I didn't know that sage had such beautiful blooms. And that sage plant is in recovery mode. It was chopped down 2 years ago by a gardener who didn't know what it was. It was a like 2 feet wide and 2 feet long, just a huge plant. And I didn't know anybody would mistake it, but he did. So I grieved. I collected pieces of sage from his bag of grass and I recovered. So that little plant survived, little small pieces of it, and didn't show last year, but this year it's back. So thanks to the Creator for what we have. These, the plant world is showing us that God's got our back. COVID, all of the things that are going on are not to deter the master plan for our survival and our flourishing. We're better, we're more aware than ever of what we have naturally. So all is well.
Ashe.
Yeah, lots of work, but it's good work. And there's a feeling of oneness with nature when you're dealing with plants. I realized quite a few years ago that I could hear the plants calling when they were in need of water. And there were plants that were the talkers or the sounder, the plants who came and gave the call to support the others. The sunflower seed, sunflower plant is one. It'll just keel over and let you know that the rest of the garden is in need. When you water it 2 hours, that sunflower plant is standing straight and tall again. And just a miracle. So sisters, I encourage all of you to get your hands into dirt and relate to the plants, hold them in your hand, nurture them, and be nurtured by them. It's more than just taking them into the body. It's being them around them and being a part of their lives. So thank you.
Thank you.
I've got to accept the call here.
Greetings, Elizabeth. I wanted to share that when we had our garden some years ago, my brother asked us that when we accepted plants from the garden to say thank you before we cut them.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Something happened to my sound.
Okay. So as I was saying, when we were pulling the plants from, to get the
Okay,
plants.
I don't know if you can hear me.
We hear you. Mama Hetheru was speaking, Raziya.
And then this one is a thick
I
one.
can't hear anything.
Of a red.
Mama Hetheru was speaking.
I can't hear.
Mama Raziya, Elizabeth.
That's the pie. This is just a red lettuce. It's called it red.
Hold on a second.
Red salad. Red salad lettuce. Red salad greens. So we're gonna be eating all of these Christian in the garden today. First eaters. That one's so pretty.
It is beautiful.
And that's romaine there.
My favorite.
Yeah. So ladies, the sky's the limit. Sister, could you pull those two off the edge there? Because they're
Right
gonna
here?
get nipped by this thing here. Just break them from the bottom. Now, we put the marigolds in to try to ward off the bites, but see how they're already like those greens.
Oh, yeah.
Who's biting? Like the bugs, there's a caterpillar, which the butterflies are trying to get sustenance. So they are laying their eggs and those little worms just eat away.
I think this is the last one, and I think I have my camera sideways.
This is coming out pretty good.
Oh, boy.
So hurt, I was crying. Because, oh man, that is so sad. That is so sad.
But he had cut a big.
It was a huge, this plant was like this.
Oh,
And
wow.
he just whack, whack, whack. I can't, that's my stage. And I was trying to save little pieces of it, and I did save a few and replanted those. But
Cut it.
the gardener, you know, the man who cuts the grass.
Oh.
He didn't know what it
He didn't know
was.
what it was. Over here against the fence, trying to be nice and out of people's way.
Uh-huh.
So that much sage at least will be in your dish. It'll be cut real small.
Yeah, it says it's
Oh,
sage.
that's sage.
Googling it.
Mhm.
Turn sage into bitters for better cocktails.
Wow.
So thank you, Raziya. Even though you didn't know,
Yes, Asante Sana.
it was wonderful and the food was delicious. Yeah, Mama Hetheru, could you share that again? Because she didn't hear what you were saying about what your brother shared.
I love that the video was playing because it was exactly what I was talking about. How we, sometimes people may use scissors to cut the plants, and he was like, "No, use your hands and use your hands to pick." But always, he told us, he said, "Say thank you to the plants as you're picking them." So Mama Raziya was showing that happened to be going on in the video. And also, I just love what everybody had on. Pam had on her green. Now Wheelie had on her orange, and I love the words on her t-shirt and her butterfly pants. I would dress for the occasion. But
And
thank you for sharing that.
yeah, I was when Mama Raziya got over to the plant, and she was explaining what happened to it, and she was apologizing to the plant. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Because they're live. They're live.
Oh, I'm sorry that I lost contact. For some reason, my phone went out, but I appreciate your honoring that occasion and sharing with us. And the garden is happy. It seems that the plants just grew an extra inch or so after that experience, because they are one with us.
Yes.
They feel responsible for us.
That's beautiful. And thank you for inviting us over. And Thursdays, make your announcement about the Thursdays so the sisters will know.
Well, we have been waiting all winter for June, and this is our opening month to have a garden yard luncheon series, dinner in the yard. And we had been, people are free to come and participate, sit and eat and participate in the gardening. There's always something to do. A few pieces of grass to pluck and that. But that will start this Thursday. We'll have a live spaghetti platter. And this is spaghetti made out of zucchini. And there's a marinara sauce, which is a raw version. Cabbage slaw, special soup made by none other than Chef Dorothy. And we will have it's a celebration meal, so that there'll be dessert and probably apple ginger juice. So it'll be a good time. So we're asking those persons who want to participate to call in on Tuesday by 8 o'clock. That's today by 8 o'clock this evening. So we'll have the numbers, the count, and we're just starting. So nothing's a problem
And
when
the
you're
time?
starting. The time is 4:30 to 7. 4:30 to 7. And if weather is inclement, of course, we have everything is packed for carry out. We won't have an open buffet like we used to, because we're honoring what's going on in our culture, in our country, in the world. So everything is packaged and ready to go. You can stay as long as you want. This is a beautiful time because there's the mosquitoes and things like that are not out in full force like they might be in July and August. So good time to start. And please call and let us know if you plan to come. We have a thing going on now where we can have 2 or 3 people in observation and participation in the preparation of the food.
I want to be part of prep because
Yeah,
I can learn.
well, we're doing some prep on Wednesday so that we won't be delayed or over. So we have Wednesday prep, and then early Thursday, people who are coming to prep need to be able to be there by 1.
Okay.
So please, Sheila, we can talk and know how to plan for you and anybody else who's, we're limited to 6 people
Okay.
in that prep mode.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Now,
And
before
we're
you,
excited.
that food was so very delicious. Oh my goodness gracious. Before we introduce our speaker for today, I need Deitra to give us some light because you're totally a silhouette right now.
Oh. Is that better?
No.
Oh.
Just a little bit more. Can you give me a little bit more?
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. Are you able to, you remember last time you turned your camera?
No, it's weird. I don't know.
Okay, that's good. Right there. Right there. Good. Okay, Raziya, go ahead and introduce our main speaker for today.
Well, I'm just feeling so blessed to be able to have Deitra come in and present to us. Deitra joined the network probably about, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes.
She came in rolling up her sleeves, ready to help. She got the feeling of the collective work and responsibility model. And the collective work and responsibility is how we survive. So she said, what can I do to help? And boy, did she get an answer. So today we are blessed to have her look at a very serious issue that's going on in our city, in our country, among many of us who are dealing with health, trying to have the best possible health experience. And she told me, Raziya, I want to bring this to the attention of the sisters and to the attention of the world as we move on, because I think it's being ignored or people are unaware. So I'd like to present to you at this time, Deitra Porter Covington.
Well, yeah, I go by Deitra Covington now. I don't say food porter anymore.
Deitra Covington,
Yes.
who is going to share with us her life path and share with us a personal journey that she is on. in terms of looking at low blood pressure. She
But
said,
thank
you know,
Raziya. Thank you. And it's been such a pleasure working with you for the last few years or however it's been. But thank you for being in my life. Thank you.
thanks.
All right. So Queen, should I load my video now?
You
My-
can, yeah.
Okay. Fine.
Pardon me, Deitra, as she's doing that, Mama, it's 9, so it's time to switch off or are you gonna leave it on?
Oh, no, they couldn't, they did not be part of that. That was just for us.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. But thank you so much for being my timer.
You're welcome. I'm so ready for this. I'm so ready for this.
Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Can you all see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Mine's is moving a little slow, but that's okay. First of all, I want to let you all know that you know, for many years now, I've heard my doctor tell me I have, you know, well, not tell me, but when they take my blood pressure, it's always been low. So I never thought anything was happening to me because of that, because I heard high blood pressure is really the serious thing, right? But I
Yes.
never heard, go ahead.
No, we were agreeing.
Oh, okay. But what I found is that there are a lot of dangers of high blood pressure, but low blood pressure can be just as dangerous. I mean, literally, I've heard that my numbers were so low that I was almost close to death. And I did not know this. I'm like, what? It was very surprising for me. And that I could have been in a coma overnight when I was sleeping, anything like that. So I really just really took it serious that I need to do something about it. Okay, now I'm going to go over a little history, my history. I was diagnosed, quote unquote, I don't even like even claiming any of this stuff, but I had with hypothyroidism. That's what the doctors would always tell me. And this was 20 years ago. They would tell me that after I had my son, you know, after pregnancy and all of that, and then I was prescribed with thyroid medication that I would have to take for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
And to me, that sounds like a death sentence to me. I was like, I don't want to take this stuff for the rest of my life. And plus, the medication had pork derivatives in it. And I have not ate any pork or anything like that for the last 30 or 40 years. So I definitely didn't want any of that in my system. So I said, I have to come up with something else. You know, my my thyroid value was high. And so it looked like my thyroid was not functioning correctly, because when it's high, it means that it's not transferring, you know, from your, I don't know if anyone else has any issues with thyroid, but you understand those numbers.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
okay, good. Yeah, so my TSH was high. So that's why it kept coming up, you know, hypothyroidism for me. Okay, now moving on, I had to look at my diet. You know, that's the first thing I can go to, because, you know, I have control over that, what I put in my mouth. So I took a look at that and I found that changing and improving my diet was perhaps one of the most important things I can do to help improve my thyroid. Certain foods can negatively impact thyroid function by promoting inflammation or gut dysfunction, which may impair thyroid conversion. Sometimes figuring out which foods to avoid was more difficult than understanding which foods I should eat. In the development of acidosis, and I'm going to explain that more in the next slide. And you might be wondering, Deitra, I thought you were talking about low blood pressure. Well, believe it or not, I found that the issues with my thyroid was associated with my blood pressure, you know, because the adrenals that are used to detect, let you know what your blood pressure is very important in connecting with the thyroid. So they're all interconnected. I am not off track here. It's totally related. And so then I wanted to tell, there's simple list of foods to avoid. Refined sugar, and I've seen that across the board in any list. When I'm trying to do a healthy list, sugar is out. And I mean, it's interesting because literally I've lost the taste for sugar, which is a blessing. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even want a candy bar or something. Nope, not at all. And then the gluten, and then dairy, alcohol. And I've never been an alcohol drinker, so that has never been an issue. Trans fat, so I look at all my labels, anything I buy, I'm looking for anything with trans fat. And then you have the industrial seed oils, which are like canola, corn oil. And sometimes you can get the vegetable oil, which is based on soy oil, or whatever that is, soybean oil. And then any highly processed soy. So anything with soy, I tend to avoid. Frozen and highly processed foods, which I've learned a while back that anything in a box or a bag or anything like that, I really shouldn't eat. And then legumes and beans, which was kind of an issue for me because I do like beans and they never really upset me, but I never know what's going on behind the scenes with my system. You know, some things doesn't make me feel sick, but it might be affecting me in a negative way. So, and then coffee, I've never been a coffee drinker. So that was something I could deal with.
Deitra?
Yes.
What is trans fat?
Trans fat is normally fats that are go through a highly processed, they are processed highly, and that when it comes into the body doesn't know what to do with it. It was almost like it just sits there. So yeah, trans fats are highly processed fats.
So it's not like fat that's natural. It has gone through some type of system.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Now this Yaki Awakened. Literally for the last 3 months, I came across a video of Yaki Awakened, and this is a gentleman who really speaks to the issues with Black people, and what kind of things we go through when it comes to our diet, our bodies, sickness, everything. You know, he really goes down to the crux of what's going on in our bodies. So I've watched probably over 100 of his videos. So I'm very much entrenched in, you know, some of the things he shares. And I tend to agree with a lot of them. So, but he talks about, I mean, he really based a lot of our eating on simple simple things. You know, you can eat, you know, don't first of all, he's a fruitarian. You know, he really thinks that fruit is our go-to because it's simple for the body to digest that. Because some of the vegetables that we eat, our bodies have to work very hard to digest them. Because believe it or not, a lot of the vegetables try to protect themselves. So, you know, you have heavy, you know, they're really hard for us to digest because the plants don't want to be eaten either. You know, so he really is against eating any kind of meat. Because he said we can't kill our other animals and think that, you know, well, first of all, he talks about us not being carnivores. You know, we can't go out there and kill fresh meat like another animal could. We don't have the right kind of teeth. We don't have the right digestive system. And one day I would love to go over all of that because it's very interesting to know. But as you can see, he based his work on the Genesis 1:29 through 31, where the Bible talks about the herb-bearing seed as our food, as our meat. So that's interesting. And I did put the email down, the website down for you to, if you would like to look at more of his work, and that's yakiawaken.com. So I just wanted to share that because a lot of the why I'm in the place I am now is because I learned from him. Okay, now the next thing is my eating progression. Well, first of all, I was a carnivore. I love chicken and beef and hamburgers. Oh my God, I loved it. And so it was no problem for me to eat it. And then as I grew up and life went on, I went to plant-based. And that's, well, no, it might have been a little earlier than 2019. It was interesting trying to come up with these years. I'm like, oh, when did I do that? But anyway, because I know when I was a Raziya, I was more plant-based. So, and then I was a vegetarian, which, you know, with vegetarian, you can do milk and you know, that kind of thing. And then when I met my husband, I really went more pescatarian. We ate a lot of fish. And then I thought about the mercury in fish. I'm like, maybe that might be something to that, right? And then I went more vegan. And then now for the last 3 months, I've been a fruitarian. And literally, I cannot believe it because I have not been hungry. I thought I would be hungry or something, but just by eating fruit. Nope. It keeps me full. And one thing about fruitarianism is that you get better hydration because the fruit gives you good water. And we call it H3O2. So instead of H2O, you get a denser or a more elaborate form of water when you eat fruit. So are there any questions? I'm sorry, I'm just rambling.
We'll jump in.
Okay, good. All right, great.
Well,
Yeah,
I was curious about what type of fruits are best, you know,
Okay, good question. Well, first of all, the berries are actually the best. You know, raspberries, blueberries, those kind of things. Strawberries, the berries are good. However, you know, what I've been doing, grapes are good too. So I do grapes every day. And also I do apples. I have a juicer and I like to make my own apple juice. So I juice apples every day and I eat grapes. So that's what works for me. But berries are good if you do berries.
What about bananas?
Okay, good question. Bananas are good. However, it's been shown to me in various circles that the really small bananas are the ones we should eat, not the ones you can easily get from Kroger. Those are not the ones we should get. You should get the small bananas. But you can eat those, and you can eat melons, and melons are good for really trying to that for the digestive system, because it's a lot of water in melons. So those are good, but you can only eat them by themselves. You can't mix them because it can cause problems when you mix melons with other fruit. So when you do melons, do them by themselves.
So the common question when they talk about vegetarian, okay, we'll start there, is how are you getting your protein? So if we're
Right.
fruitarians, where's the protein coming from?
The protein, believe it or not, we get a lot of protein. Well, fruitarians, we like I have at the bottom there, fruit is for healing, vegetables are for building. So even if you are fruitarian, you might have some vegetables that you eat, and you get your proteins from your vegetables. Because even when people say, oh, you need to eat some meat for protein, the animal actually gets protein from the vegetables as well. So it's important that we realize that we don't have to have a middleman. We can go directly to the vegetables and get our protein. So that's where you get it from.
I like that middleman.
Right.
I like how you said that we do not need the middleman. We go directly.
Exactly.
The elephant is a vegetarian, right?
Who is that?
The elephant.
Oh, yes. Yeah, exactly. Right. Look how big he is. He don't need no. Right. Yeah. So, acidosis. The first thing that Yaki mentions is that a lot of our people are going through acidosis. Their systems are full of acid. Even though a lot of our glands and things, they work based on, acid, create acid, but that's the body creating its own situation. But when you eat something like a meat, it creates acid in the body, and that's different than, an internal situation where the body is creating acid. But when we put things in our body by what we eat, and it creates acid, it causes issues with different systems. A lot of sickness is based on the acid that is accumulated, and it has to sit there because sometimes things aren't moving. It's not going out of the system. And so it's sitting there and sitting in the cells. And believe it or not, this was very intriguing to me. Even we have to eliminate, at least 3 times a day, which is a stretch. I'm still working on that. But even as a human, we have to eliminate. Our cells have to eliminate because we have trillions of cells and they each have to eliminate. So we got to realize that a lot is going on in our body and that it has, those things have to be done. Elimination has to occur. And when it doesn't, the cells are being bombarded with acid and it's not coming out, it's not eliminating. So we got to make sure that that's done. So anyway, any more questions? Okay, but if there is, you don't have to ask right now if you don't know. So
Well, I was gonna ask about that base. You said Aki, Al,
Yeah, Key Awaken.
no, the other alkaline. When you're too alkaline, you said that it's difficult for the let's see, there is too much base in the body fluids. What
Too much
is
acid, too much acid.
no up where you say
Oh, acidosis is a condition in which there is too much acid in the body fluids.
and alkalosis.
Alkalosis, a condition in which there is too much base in the body fluids.
Now, what is base? What does that consist of? When you say base, what is it? What is base doing to the body fluids?
Okay, too much acid.
Base is the opposite of acid, right?
Acid, right.
Yeah. So, okay, I understand acid being acidic. I understand that lemons are acidic. What is the basis of the base? What's a base symptom like?
I would see the opposite of acid is alkaline. So,
It's too solid. The body fluids are not flowing freely. What does that actually mean?
So what is base referring to?
Yeah.
well, the opposite will be alkaline. Opposite of acid is alkaline.
Yes.
Being too alkaline is very, very dangerous also.
Yes,
We
the opposite. Yeah.
needing to be in balance, either acid enough, enough acid. So what is it? Something like 7,
Right, exactly.
5 or 8.2. I remember when we were all getting the water at the water station, some people were saying, oh, I want alkalinity at a 10 and a 12, I want to be and someone would nudge you and say, listen, don't go too far with the alkalinity. And I think Dorothy was asking the question, there is a yin yang type awareness in our balance, in our eating. And being too young is being, often there's this stiffness, a rigidity of the cells. The person begins to have aches and pains, maybe congestion, all these there. So there's a lot that can happen when a person is too base.
Right.
Alkaline.
Yeah, Raziya, that's right.
Need to look into that.
Okay. That helps. I did not, I understood acidic, but when they say too alkaline,
Yeah.
so that is, it becomes, body fluids become too thick or too, not loose enough for the body to function, it's stiffness. Okay, that explains.
Thanks for that question. Thank you for getting clarification on that.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is my health progression. I started 20 years ago. It was told that I had hypothyroidism. And it's interesting with that. I really didn't see any noticeable issues with my body, except now. 20 years later, sometimes my balance is a little off. So little things are happening. I'm like, what is going on? And so then when I started taking my blood pressure, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, it was like really, really low. And I'm like, that raised concerns for me. Like I said, the adrenal concern based on my BP reading. So that happened. And I just wanted to let you all know, I took this little photo because, I ain't take it. I put it in here. So people will know where your thyroid is, because you might not know where it is. But just in case, there it is right there on our neck portion. Okay, adrenal health. Your adrenals are organs which sit on top of your kidneys. These hormone glands pump out some very important hormones, including epinephrine, norepinephrine, or cortisol, and other hormones which balance your salt and water balance. You know, and it's funny, when I first read this, I thought about a friend of mine. You know, she actually had to be hospitalized because her salt and water balance was out of balance, and she was hospitalized because of it. And I was like, wow, you know, that was kind of deep. I never thought that kind of thing would happen, but yeah, it's serious. Cortisol is the primary hormone that most people think of when they think of our adrenals. It is your stress hormone, and it is secreted when your body is under stress of any kind. Of course, when I read that, I thought about myself. What was I going through, you know, during this 20 years? You know, I underwent a divorce. I raised children on my own. So I lost my father. So it was a lot of things that were stressful. And I didn't even realize I was going through it. I just worked through everything, you know, and just kept going. And then it says repeated stress is thought to negatively impact cortisol release and cellular function, which I can understand how all of that could have been happening to me. And then it says, if you are constantly pushing on the gas without allowing your body time to rest and relax, then your adrenal function may be compromised. Okay, I can understand that, because I don't think I took a lot of time to relax. I don't even remember things I would do, you know, other than I really like ping pong. I would play ping pong. That would be really relaxing for me. But anyway, okay, when you hit this stage, you may feel symptoms such as fatigue, difficulty sleeping, salt and sugar cravings, reliance upon caffeine for energy, and so on. Okay, I can relate. These are the symptoms that people talk about when they experience adrenal fatigue. The reason we are talking about adrenal function is that your adrenal glands and thyroid gland function in tandem with one another. So I do see the relationship between my adrenal glands and my thyroid. Okay, either way, repeated amounts of stress and consistently high cortisol can negatively impact thyroid function. This is why treating your adrenal glands is so important. As you balance your adrenal function, you can improve your stress resiliency and improve your thyroid. And I'm looking forward to that. And I got good news, and I'm going to share it a little later, but anyway. Okay, now this is your adrenal gland, picture of your adrenal gland on top of your kidney. And then I wanted to show where your kidneys are placed in your body, you know, in case you didn't know exactly where they were. But it's interesting because this part of my stomach, or my abdomen, this part of it would be a little swollen for most of the time where those kidneys are. So I'm looking forward to that going away. Yay. But anyway. Okay, address gut. Another very important system I did not want to ignore with a thyroid issue is my gut. And by gut, I'm really referring to the trillions of bacteria that live inside my intestinal tract and how these bacteria influence my body. And you know, I would always wonder, whenever I went to go see doctors, especially African doctors, they would say, you need to detox. I'm like, why is everybody talking about this detox? And they always give me some kind of tea or something that I need to take to do detoxification. So that's one thing that I am definitely a proponent of. And I make sure that I'm working on making sure I go to the bathroom, you know, all the time, because we have different things that can affect our our gut health. You know, you can get what do you call them? The things that are get into your system, and oh God, what do we call it? Oh my goodness. You know, and they get into your system and take advantage of and eat whatever they want to, and
Parasites.
yeah, parasites. Thank you. That's
Parasites.
exactly it. Yes. And so, yeah, so you want to always make sure you're eliminating so you can get rid of those things that have become a part of your body, because they cause damage. So you want to try to get rid of them. Okay, now I started taking my blood pressure, and I learned about the systolic value and the diastolic value. The systolic numbers are talking about my adrenals, that's the top number. And the diastolic is talking about my kidneys, how well they're doing. As you can see, a healthy blood pressure is between 120 and 130 for systolic. And then for diastolic is 60 to 70. So in the melanin range, 120 to 130, over 60 to 70. And the allopathic range is 90 to 140, and the diastolic is 70 to 80. So as you can see, it's a difference, and you get more range with allopathic. But for me, you know, that allopathic, you know, it was kind of, you know, it just seems kind of dangerous to me. So I want to try to get more to the melanin range. Okay. Now, what's interesting is when I heard about the issues with blood pressure, I said, I got to find out what my blood pressure is. So I actually went and bought me a blood pressure monitor. And it was $40, but I use it every day, 2 times a day. I do it in the morning and I do it at night. You know, so I check my range of my blood pressure every day, 2 times a day. Now, my systolic and diastolic numbers, you know, when I first started doing this, I was at 83 over 64. And I was so concerned because I was like, look how low this systolic number is. It was 83. And I'm like, oh, we got to do something about that. So now what did I do about it? Let's see. So I found this supplement. It's called Active Adrenal. And I take it in the morning. And also I drink some licorice root tea. And I have some with me right now. To kind of help my adrenals, you know, kind of spike them up a little bit. But I do want to give you good news. After 3 days of my little issue, of the things I've tried, I'm actually up to 100 now. So I'm very happy. I'm happier anyway, but I'm going to keep, you know, the regimen going, and I'm really trying to get up to 120. So if it keeps going the way it's going, it looks like, you know, definitely within a week, I should be at 120. So, and I should see definitely positive signs of my adrenals doing better. You know, maybe my balance is coming back better. I know one thing, I did sleep better last night, so that was a good thing. But you know, from this point, are there any questions or comments?
Okay. This is really quite informative. One of the questions I had was whether you are able to feel, the first comment I wanted to say is that when we were talking about elimination, the importance of elimination,
Yeah.
I've always heard from especially the naturopaths and people into natural health, that we should eliminate more like a baby eliminates babies nurse with their mothers, or babies eat and they have a boo-boo within 10 or 15 minutes after they finish eating, and that's considered healthy and normal. We should have an experience where eating or ingesting nutrition stimulates the system enough so that you have a bowel movement.
Yes.
You're holding on and not doing that, then there's something, and it has to do with exercise and drinking enough water, and of course, eating the proper foods. Unfortunately, there are still people walking around in our community who feel that it's okay to go 2 or 3 times a week.
Ooh-wee.
And that's very dangerous and usually leads to lots of problems, including colon issues and
Yes.
colon cancer. But it's elimination should occur kind of shortly after ingesting a meal.
You know what's interesting? I agree with you totally. Is that, you know, eating fruits like grapes. If I eat grapes or a bunch of grapes, I don't want to go to the bathroom right away. It goes straight through me, which is good, because that's what it's supposed to do. Or if I drink my juice, my apple juice, I'll go to the bathroom very soon. So it helps to regulate my elimination pattern. So it helps me too.
And there may be someone on the line who has more comments with this, but my understanding of drinking the juice and saying, oh, it goes straight through me, is that really it's stimulating your digestive tract, your digestive system. So that particular juice isn't going through within 10 or 15 minutes, but it pushes the rest of the stuff along. And it's a good deal, you know, it's a good process.
Yes, thank you for clarifying. That's right. When I say going straight through, it's not like it's really going straight through, but.
Well, I used to believe that.
No,
until somebody explained it.
Okay, Mama Hetheru.
Right, greetings, family. I just wanted to say thank you for this presentation, because we needed it. We had just had a couple of sisters share that they were having challenges with their thyroid. We about to knock it out and eliminate it.
Good, yay.
So, but my mother, when I was little and anything was going on, the first thing my mother would ask me is, when's the last time you had a bowel movement? And
that's my daddy. He did
I don't care what it was, what day it was, what time it was, that was her first question. And so when I worked at a school, that was the first thing I always asked the children. And people go, because they don't remember. That's how long it's been.
Wow.
And something else that I've dealt with, and it sent me to the hospital a couple times. I'm stiff. I feel like I can't bend, and I feel like number 30 on Schoolhouse Rock, you know, the big one at the end. And I couldn't fold. My breathing was okay, but I could feel that something was going on. And I've gone to the emergency room twice, and they said, one doctor told me, she said, I could see you don't take anything, so I'm not going to prescribe anything to you. And I said, thank you for respecting that. But you can be constipated and still have bowel movements. Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah, good point.
That crap will lock you up like nothing in life. I'm telling you. So, and then it was so funny because I'm always telling my neighbors, you know, okay, you need to do this so you can have a bowel movement. So the doctor told me, you know, get some of that, what is that stuff they tell you to take?
Metamucil.
Yeah, the M stuff, yes. So, and my girlfriend next door, she said, Mama Head, now I know you haven't forgot all the stuff you tell us. She told me, don't forget your castor oil. I left off the porch so fast and went and took my castor oil. Let me tell y'all something.
Okay.
Woo! So I just wanted to share those tidbits, okay?
Well, thank you.
That castor oil, I remember, I know Pam remember when Mama be, here she come with that doggone castor oil. You know?
Folks can't stand it, but it's the truth. You ought to look up the many, many, many health benefits from castor oil. And you don't always have to ingest it. Remember, we talked about navel therapy, and you can put it on the bottom of your feet. Don't forget about it.
That's right. That's
It
right.
heals bones and organs. Don't play with the cat. Don't put the castor oil to bed because you don't like the way it tastes. Ain't got nothing to do with that. Let it heal you.
Amen. Amen.
Mama Hess, will you share about the navel? Because we have some people who don't know what you're talking about, and the feet, what we were talking about, everything goes intertwines with one another.
Yeah. Well, our navel, if you think about it, that was our begins with a P. What's the name? The navel. What's the one connecting to the mama? I can't think of the word.
Umbilical cord.
Thank you. Thank you. So if you think about it, your umbilical cord was your connection to mother. So, and that's where, I mean, your blood, everything was connected to that. Everything, every part of your body, that was your center. So you can use your navel for therapy. I would look it up and investigate first before you do any of that. But your navel, you can use oils, but you must follow the recipes because you don't want to burn. My mother used to tell me, don't pick at it. You know, if you see dirt in there, clean it out, you know. But you want to be careful. But your navel is a source of sending information and healing through the rest of your body. And your feet, you know, I don't know if people have studied that, but we have, I guess it's called reflexology, where your feet, every part of your foot has a connection to some part of your body, your teeth, your hands, your earlobes, and some other places. I forget the rest of the places, but studying the body is very,
Yeah, they were saying something about the tip, the tip of your finger and stuff, you know, where they'll rub that tip and yeah, massage the tip of the finger.
Yeah. So just look at all those places that we have. Go ahead, Miss Allison. Go ahead.
Hi, Mama Raziya. She invited me to the call, and thank you, ladies, for what you're doing here. I wanted to go back to the blood pressure because you were talking about the adrenals and the kidneys and the numbers. And so blood pressure, you know, that's in our family. And I don't mean to change the subject to go back to the navel, but I need to understand depending on the number, so my blood pressure is normally higher. So depending on the number, is that showing that how you process salt or how you don't process? What is leading to the low blood pressure and the adrenal gland connection?
Let's see here.
Or the
Queen, you were going to say something?
No, I was just saying, I was just going to have, or the high blood pressure.
Or high blood pressure, yeah.
Well, you know, I'm not a big salt eater, so I looked into the salt connection with blood pressure. So in regards to why, you know, why the numbers are high with salt, and maybe someone else can speak to that, if you know about that issue.
Well, my understanding is that the sodium acts like shards of glass in the urethra. So it's like hair, very, very thin. And so depending on not just your activity, and not just what you eat, there are other factors that will diminish how the adrenal glands function with adrenal fatigue. And so that's why I'm asking, because my mother had high blood pressure. She was on beta blockers and all this other stuff. And I'm trying to get to where I can be more active. I'm in Arizona, by the way, where it's like going to be 110 degrees today.
Wow.
But yeah, pray for me. This is where I this is where hi Mama Raziya, this is where I really want to get a handle. I'm so grateful for this call because I'm kind of isolated. I live out here in Surprise. And so I'm probably the only Black woman in this area. and there's not a huge community, and I have to drive an hour to go to Phoenix. So I'm trying to harness on how I can get control of this through this conversation. And so that's why I'm asking the question about the adrenal glands and how it functions with the body.
Okay, you know what, if you wouldn't mind, I would love to share the deeper part of my adrenal research with you.
Okay.
Is it possible? I don't know how we can keep in touch.
Just call me.
Put your
Okay.
information in the chat window so you all can exchange that way.
Okay.
Email and phone. Yeah.
Yeah, and Deborah, thanks for rising up early and joining us. So that means you're 3 hours earlier than us. Just like
Yeah.
in the morning. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Can you hear me in the chat now? Or can you hear me? Because I had my hand up. Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Hi,
Oh,
Deborah.
hi. And
Hi,
I can
Deborah.
relate. Hi, everyone. I can relate to what the sister said about being in the heat, because it's hot here in Vegas too. I think it's going to be about 90 something today, but you know, I can handle the heat better than the cold. I just wanted to add to what you were saying about the castor oil. The sister was saying about castor oil, because I know castor oil is one of my go-to remedies, and just to do on a frequent basis, like, well, I'll say like maybe every 6 months, to use a castor oil pack on the abdomen, because it penetrates the skin. And I know you've all heard of the castor oil pack. So what it does is, once you use that pack on your lower abdomen, it is penetrating the skin, getting all that old fecal matter off of the intestine wall, and causing you to eliminate what's built up on the walls of your intestines. And so that is something that I recommend to people to do every once in a while. And when you put that castor oil pack on, you're using a very least invasive way to help eliminate what may be built up on the walls of your intestine. And I did it when I was sick, when I had pneumonia, you know, when COVID first was hit. I ended up, they told me I didn't have it, but I did have it. And so that was one of the remedies that I used to help to detox my intestines, because, you know, they say all disease starts in the colon. So I think that's one thing people can do to just, you know, help. I know we're doing all these different type of detoxes, but that one, and then maybe being a fruitarian, you don't have as much buildup on the walls of your intestines. But I think a lot of people, because of the various diets and eating the fast food and things like that, that just tend to, you know, make people's bowels sluggish and have that buildup. And you know, you see a lot of people walking around with those real big stomachs, and you just wonder, well, what's going on there? That's a lot of old fecal matter building up on the walls of the intestines, and probably things like undigested meats that are just festering in there. You know, when you listen to Yaki Awakening, boy, he gives you really clear. Oh yeah, I'm really basically looking at becoming a fruitarian or whatever you call it, because I love fruit. I feel good when I eat the melon and things that are light like that, and I can see myself becoming a fruitarian, because I'm not stuck on all this meat. And I stopped eating meat a long time ago, but I do eat fish on occasion. And I'm thinking about not even eating that because of, you know, what's going on with the foods in this world. And you also still have to be careful which fruits you get, because, you know, if you're looking at the numbers on the, you know, when you buy your fruits and vegetables, you got to look on that number, that little, I think it's a 5-digit code that lets you know if it starts with a 9, it is organic. If it starts with those other numbers, you can forget it. It's man-made, and those things are not really doing anything for your body. So we just have to be careful. And just moving out here, I'm noticing that these stores are not carrying organic foods or fruits and vegetables. And we were in a store yesterday, and my husband asked them, don't you have an organic section? And they said, no, nothing's organic.
Yeah.
And I was
You know,
thinking,
Sister Deborah,
yes,
we still have to be careful, because just because it has a label of organic don't mean nothing, honey. I'm
they
saying we
sure
can't
don't.
trust nothing you didn't grow in your own garden, because they're messing with
I believe you.
everything. So what I
Yes,
do is I pray over my food. I said, what's good in this, let my body use, and what I don't, let it come on out.
I
Before
like that. And you know what? I totally really agree with you, because that's why I came out here looking at how I can start growing my food, because in Michigan, I had a garden every year before all of this stuff started. God had already shown me in my spirit 20 something years ago, what you need to do is grow your own. So I've always had a garden, and people would look at me like, gosh, what, but God just let me know you need to grow it. If you know you want to know what you're eating, you better grow it yourself. And so it's easy for me, but out here where the soil is very hard, caliche, that real hard.
Yeah.
So it's harder to grow, but I already brought food. I brought some kale. I brought it on the plane, a plant, a kale plant that I had dug out of my garden. And I brought sorrel, because I had a lot of sorrel, and sorrel comes back every year. And so I have them in a pot right now until we actually move into our house, which is tomorrow. Really, we could move in today, but I'm ready to start gardening. And I have a little area I already picked out for a garden, because like you said, oh, thank you. Because I'm serious about this stuff. I don't want to eat this food that's man-made. It's just like eating paper. It's not doing anything for you. It's just not giving you. So yeah, we definitely have to look and make sure. And it's really a sad state of affairs. I mean, every time you look up, the Minister of Food had told us about 3 months ago that the spinach had been contaminated, and on a wide scale, to be careful about ingesting spinach, because it was full of cadmium, which is metal, which is being grown in, and that they were getting ready to sue Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and Kroger's, because they did not warn the consumers that they're calling it organic, and it's really not, because it has high toxic levels of this metal. So I was sending out warnings to my friends and people that I know that would be concerned about it, because some people say, well, you got to die from something. I'm eating me some spinach. No, I'm not eating it. I have eliminated.
Thank you
No.
for sharing. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you all too. And this is really valuable. I will be on these meetings as often as I can. I know I had to get up kind of early, but it's still worth it, and I can later on I make up for it, take a nap, but I had to, this is 5 o'clock when it's 8 there, but it's still, I'm going to be on here. So thank you all.
Good.
Thank you.
Mama
Allison, you had something to say, Allison?
Mama Ross had her.
Yes. Well, Mama Raziya, you had your hand up first.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say that I appreciate the reminder about the castor oil packs, and any number of things that we can do to cleanse. I was introduced to the Shackley products way back years and years ago. And that distributor that I talked with said, now, before you spend your money on these expensive supplements and so forth, take Herblax to clean your system. He says that compacted fecal matter in your gut will not allow any of those vitamins, minerals, supplements, herbs, and so forth to get into your system. They're actually blocking whatever you take in. So it's first, cleansing is first when we get ready to start being healthy. All the good foods, the salads, everything. If we have compacted fecal matter in our colon, it's blocking what we're doing. And this is why you hear people saying, oh, I'm eating all this healthy food, I'm taking this, I'm taking that, and I'm not getting any better. In fact, I'm gaining weight and so forth. And it's because it's not getting through. It cannot get through to support you if it can't get into the small intestine. So cleansing is key. And I'm really glad that we're having this discussion. There was another thing I had to say, Allison, but I can't think of it right now. Forgive me.
So, so when we talk about the belly button thing, what does it mean if it's kind of painful? Your belly button is kind of painful. Like when you put your finger, I mean, because I'm not a small girl. I do have uterine fibroids, and it has been bothering me lately. And I'm thinking, is that the stress? Do I need to just drop some castor oil in it? And, because I know that also feeds.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I've had that from time to time. I can remember when my navel would be sore every once in a while. And Mama would say, because you're picking at it, but I've gotten older and I haven't had it in a while. But I remember times when sometimes every so often it would be pain. So I would have to look that up. I don't know if anybody else could help with that. Maybe we need to visit that, at another time. But that is something that I have experienced. I know I might know what you're talking about. So I'll look it up.
Thank you, thank you. Another thing is to the other lady that was speaking, that's in Vegas. I have 2 acres here on a horse property, and so I would love to have a gathering of women here. I'm actually building a self-sustainable house, so where you use the water 3 times.
Field trip.
I'll see if I
Yeah.
can send a picture, but you shower and you use your sink and it filters, and then you have a garden inside your house, meaning you walk out your kitchen and you pull a tomato off the hallway plant or whatever. And then it filters again, and then it goes to the plants outside. Then it filters again and it goes to your septic. So the water or your toilet, the water's been used 3 times.
I like that.
Yeah, I showed Mama Raziya pictures. Mama
Yeah.
Raziya, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's excellent. And it's a time that has come.
Yes.
Things that we used to, oh, no, I couldn't do that. No way. Now it's going to be necessary to get into this. So, Sister Allison, we will definitely be in touch with you in terms of getting more knowledge, because I hear that you've taken the training and all kinds of things to really understand how this works. And you have a working unit already on your land, right?
Yes, yes. We actually in Heber, and then there's going to be one here. And we want to teach people how to do it so that you are self-sustainable, so that you can, no matter where you are, you can outfit your home with something that will help you to live.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Allison.
Like Sister Allison got us a session we need to have. It sounds like she need to
Yes.
Yes.
I think so. Sister Allison, this is Deborah. I've talked to you on the phone. So I'm the one who introduced you to Evangelist Coswell.
Katie.
Yes, so
I
that's
love her.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I definitely feel like you need to teach us what you know, because I think the time has come. Gardening outdoors is nice, but it's not what it used to be, because of the way they have contaminated our atmosphere with this chemtrails and whatever they're putting in it. So definitely, I want to learn how to do this. That's not the aquaponics, right? It's a different one.
No, it's not. And the thing is that women, please realize how powerful we are. When you have oils, right? You hold it above your hand and it reads your DNA before it touches. Well, when you have a seed from the Most High, you put that seed in your hand, the seed reads your DNA.
Yes.
The seed reads your DNA. And when this is you know, you don't have to, but you know, when you're growing your garden, save some of your urine, let it sit outside for a week and pour it on your plants. It's not only sterile, it will read, the plant will read your DNA to make sure that you are getting what you need. So there are so many things, tidbits that we have in order to be able to do this. But like right now at 100 and in I don't know, I think Jesus lost his shoes out here. It's just so, you know, it's hot. But the thing is that we have an opportunity. We have such an opportunity. And even in stress in your life, I mean, when you're outside gardening, you can't beat it. You put your hand into the earth and I feel the energy, I feel the vibration.
Yes.
And yes,
Yes.
I want that.
And see, I had heard that too about the seed reading your DNA, because I took classes in biodynamic gardening and they taught us that too. But I didn't know, like, people, if that was, I think it's true. I mean, I definitely feel that when I've gardened in the past in Michigan, they said, put it in your mouth, like get some of your saliva on the seed and then plant it. And then that way, so I would do that. But, and I know it's going to be healthy for me because it's reading my DNA and it's actually telling what you need from the soil, or what you need to be more abundant in that plant. Mm-hmm. So, and your garden, to me, everything grew bigger because of the biodynamic gardening, where you are putting back into Mother Earth or restoring Mother Earth of what they have robbed from the soil and over the time, because the way things are done and what they're spraying on the earth is not good for the planet. And so all of that in mind, I can't wait to learn more about what you're doing, because I'm really ready.
Wow. Oh my God, this is so wonderful today. It reminds me of Brother Isi that was with us Wednesday, and he was saying about, Mama Raziya was talking about the plants that were just all of a sudden there. And it meant that that's what that community, or in particular her household, somebody needs it. And that it will show up, and the way you all are sharing about, other ways to make it more dynamic, what you need is always supplied. I mean, this is, I have not been a gardener and stuff. And I know that all of you showing up in my life right now is what I need.
Yes.
It's what I need for where I am going and what I'm doing to serve God and to serve humanity. And these are things that I need to learn and to evolve into doing, and so I really just appreciate every single one of you. It is past 10 o'clock. I mean, it's always so juicy. We call it delicious. It's just like delicious today, where you get up from the table and you just, you look back and you see that piece of that drink or that piece of something, and you just like, hold on, wait, let me just grab that right quick and devour that. That's how it is. And so we welcome all of you to come every day, Monday through Friday, from 8 to 10. And I have to tell you that I didn't know how long this is going to last, but it's fresh every day. It's fresh every day. And this is we're in our 5th week. So I love you. I thank God for coming in. If you weren't here earlier when we started at 8 o'clock, we thought we were going to do something else, but the spirit just came and just sat down in the midst of us and shared how much love is amongst all of us, and that it's all good and it's all perfect. I welcome you ladies who are really getting up super early. Share. And
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So tomorrow is Wednesday. That's Mama Ayaba and Mama Awa. And I I I don't know if they have a guest tomorrow, but the two of them is a pickle within themselves. So and then everybody else joining in. So thank you. Razia, you want to close out with some remarks, and then we'll hug ourselves and hug the world.
Well, I would
Amen.
just like to say we're so thankful for the presentation that Sister Deitra made today.
Yes,
We're all
Yes.
enlightened and lifted up, and we're going forward with a new understanding, a new energy. And I'm feeling that we are going to be more being willing to share what we heard today, because we touched on some things that we often don't talk about,
Yeah.
don't think about.
Mm-mm.
And it's very, very important. It's core. Jesse Brown would tell us that death starts in the colon.
That's
He'd
right.
say that all the time. Is
That's
that
right.
many of our ails and things that we're suffering with started in our colon. And so cleansing is key. Eating the right food is key. And we want to thank Deborah from
Yes.
Phoenix, and we want to thank Allison from Arizona for getting up at 5 a.m.
Yes.
be
Yes.
with us. We are impressed with you, sisters, and we hope that you will continue to join us on these. We go forth with a new understanding and a new commitment to health,
Yeah.
Yes.
wellness.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by
Okay.
again, Sky.
Can
Okay.
I say something real quick?
Sure.
One thing that I want to say, I don't know. I mean, because I was talking about being isolated. Women, we connect at the heart anyway, and it goes quicker than a flicker of an eye. We actually give off pheromones, and we give off, it's an energy that immediately made me want to reach for a celery stick instead of some chocolate or junk. And seriously, this is what you gave me today, just now, by having this, because it has been tough. It has been tough living here. And with the adversity and the racism and all this other crap, this made this little talk that we did just moved me. It just moved a mountain for me. And I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you
Yes.
yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Lily,
Mm.
you want to jump in before we exit? Lily B?
Oh, I was just admiring everybody.
I love that afro.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah, thank you. Happy Tuesday, beautiful ladies.
Yes.
Okay.
One more time, right there. We
Thank
go.
you.
All right, everybody hug
Peace.
themselves. Give yourself some love.
Peace and love.
Yes.
And give everybody in the world some love.
Oh,
Absolutely. Have a
Peace
beautiful
out.
day, ladies.
Yes.
Okay.
so who
Thank
wants my phone number? I don't know who was the lady that found my phone number.
They can get it from Razia if they didn't get it.
Okay.
Okay.
What is your name?
I'm
Aduni.
Queen Aduni. It means something sweet to have.
Oh. I'm gonna
love
see
you all.
if I can use the background. I'm gonna take the picture and I'm gonna use tomorrow's call. I'm gonna use the background of the Earth Home for my background and
Okay.
explain some things to you guys.
That would be
Wait,
great.
wait. You made an earth ship home, an earth home?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're actually
doggone
gonna
it.
be building one.
Oh,
So
doggone it. That's it.
Awesome.
It's over. I love it. I
Well,
love
you
it.
know
I've
what,
been studying.
if you want to take different pictures and then we will upload it. Because if you use it as, unless you're gonna, are you talking about where you use it in Zoom and then it comes up as your
you know what, y'all, I still use a BlackBerry, so I'm just trying to get I'm asking my husband to help me to do all this, but I will have him, where do I upload? What do I do?
Well, yeah, I don't want you to put that as your background unless it's a actual picture that you're putting behind you, you know, like this is an actual physical picture. But in Zoom, you can have a background, but what happens is when you move, you kind of filter into it and part of you go away. But if you take the pictures and such, then we can give you some time where you can actually show it. You know, you can walk around like earlier. I don't know if you were here when we had gone to Raziya's, and I had some pictures that, matter of fact, let me just show it to you. I'll give you the power. I give you the power.
And if she can also put them in it. If you have Google, do you have Google and Gmail? Are you using that? Because you could upload them into your drive and then send them to Sheila too. So I mean, Quinn and Vinny also. So it's different.
So I will put together. I don't have pictures of. I only have a few pictures of the one in Heber, but this Mama Raziya. Look at all that mom. Oh, Mr. Curtis.
Oh, brought you some memories, didn't it?
Yeah. So I will put together a presentation. Also, my husband can also talk about EMFs if we ever want to talk about that. You know, how that works. We did a presentation on that. I mean, this is so exciting for me. Okay, so I would we
Mama
would look at
her day is on Tuesday, so we have time to prepare you doing a presentation next week.
Right? Yeah, I was asking, can she be a Tuesday? That'd be great.
Yeah. Mama Raziya, you had your hand up.
I think that was previous.
From previous. Okay. Adios.
All right.
Okay.
Peace, y'all. Love and joy.
All right. Thank you. Love you guys already. And I just met you. Thank you.